Okay, sound. Our 15th chapter, that is sound. So, what is sound? Sound is basically nothing, a form of energy made by vibrations. Students, you must know that how sound is produced when anything vibrates. That time, the vibration of the instrument hits the air molecules and the sound is produced. So basically the sound which is produced, that depends upon the vibration occurring in that particular instrument or any in that basically in that object. Okay, so when an object vibrate, it causes the particle around to move. Okay, you must have seen that if someone is banging the bench, so if anything is kept on the bench, that also vibrates due to the sound vibration. So for this you should understand that the sound is a form of energy which is made by vibration. Students, you must have seen the instruments such as playing guitar. Okay, I am taking the example of guitar. Why? Because guitar is a very simple instrument which can be understand also and very easy to operate also. So guitar is having many strings on it, and when the strings are vibrated, so the sound is produced from that guitar. Okay, so what is the conclusion of all this thing we have done? That the vibration produces sound. So what does the guitar basically do? The guitar basically produces a vibration in the string and which produces sound. So basically for production of sound, what is important? Vibration is important. Okay, so sound is the most important element, and basically vibration is also connected to the sound, because without vibration sound is incomplete. So when the object vibrates, it causes the air particles around it to move. Okay, so now how sound travels? The sound passes through the medium as a longitudinal wave. So you can see the waves. You can see the waves here produced by the sound. You can see different waves. So in the first picture, you can see the waves are very closer to each other, and high frequency is seen in the first picture, and the second picture you can see the frequency chart is very far away. So in high pitch, what happens, the sound molecules are very closer to each other, and the curves are very smaller. Okay, but in the low pitch, what happens, the curves are higher and they are bigger. Okay, so vibration, whenever there is a vibration of the sound, the particles in present in the air molecules start moving. Okay, they actually start moving, and these moving molecules, when they move to and fro, we can identify the frequency of the sound. Okay, so we can identify the frequency of sound. Basically, students, you must have also known that human beings also, how the sound is produced in human beings. So basically there is a voice cord present in our throat. Whenever you are talking, you can keep your hand near your throat. You can feel the vibration of your vocal cord when you are able to talk, and because there is a vibration in the vocal cord, the sound is produced. Okay, so the voice cord, which is present at the top of the windpipe. So where is the voice cord actually present? It is present on the top of the windpipe. And what happens in the windpipe actually acts as the air column. Okay, what does it means, air column? That means that the vibration which is produced in our vocal cord, those vocal cord opens and close, and whenever it opens, the sound is produced, and when it opens, the air, it hits the air molecules present in the windpipe, and that is how the sound is heard in the human beings. Okay, the molecules Actually what happens, the lungs pushes the wind in the air column. That means what? The molecules which are present in the windpipe that hits each other, and the vibration which is produced in the vocal cord, that mixes with the air molecules, and this is how we are able to talk, and the sound is produced, and one person can easily talk, and the other person can easily hear. So from this you can understand that the sound is an important element, and basically vibration is also an important for sound production. Okay, then in the next slide, we will understand how does the production of sound happens. So as you all know, the production of sound, what is important for production of sound? Vibration of the object is important. Okay, so vibration of an object, when there is vibration in an object, that time the sound is produced. Okay, now I told you the example of playing guitar. So vibration is rapid to and fro in the guitar of the strings, and that produces a sound. Okay, that produces a sound. So whatever sound is produced, basically that is produced by the vibration of that object. Vibrations comes from the object, and those vibration when hits the air molecules, those produces sound. Okay, so here you have understood how the human voice sound is produced. Also, we have taken an example of playing the guitar. So here is one example: a stretch rubber band. When you plug, it vibrates sound. So you must have played this. You tie the rubber to the compass box, and you take a pencil and rotate it around the rubber and leave it. So what will happen? The rubber band will vibrate and it will produce sound. So this is also one example that shows you that the production of sound, for production of sound, vibration is necessary. In the next activity, you have a tuning fork. Now strike a prong of tuning fork on the rubber band and bring it near to your ear. What will happen if you if you strike the prongs of tuning fork on a rubber pad? What will happen? You will see the vibration, as well as you will hear the sound produced by the tuning fork. Even one more example we can take of table tennis. When the if the suspended table ball is touched with the vibrating prong, that time what happens? The ball is pushed away repeatedly. So this shows that there is a vibrating object produces sound. So this shows that there is a vibrating of the ball on the um, uh, table tennis, and the vibrating objects produces sound. So I hope students you have understood how the sound is produced. So what is the important medium for sound production? For sound production, vibration of an object is very much important. Then next is frequency of sound waves. So students, here you now in this slide we will understand how does the sound waves travel. Here you can see that there is compression and rarefaction of the sound waves. You can see the sound waves moves through the medium by compression and expanding movement. Here you can see there is a compression. Compression means what? Where the pressure is increased, and rarefaction means what? Where the pressure is reduced. So there is um, continuous waves formed in the sound, that is depending upon the compression and rarefaction. uh, the sound waves depend generally on compression and rarefaction. Okay, so now here you can see the molecules present in the air. So what happened generally? What I said, when the sound is produced from your mouth, what happened? Vocal cord, what happens? It hits the air molecules. So these are the air molecules. Okay. So when the molecules when I talk, what happens generally? The sound energy hits the air molecule which are nearer to me, and that is how the sound is produces. Okay, now the air molecules. So what happens? What is necessary for production of air? Sound energy is also necessary. So when the sound energy is produced by me while talking, what happens? The air molecules which are present nearer to me, they take this energy and they start moving and they start giving the energy from one molecule to the other molecule and from the other molecule to the third molecule. This is how they pass the air molecule and the energy transformation takes place of the sound. Students, I would like to give you one more simple example for this, that is ripple on pond. So in pond, if you throw one stone, what will happen? You will see that there are different waves are produced in the pond, and these waves are very similar to the sound waves. Okay, just like that the sound travels. The sound travels in the form of waves, as I have given you the example of the ripple on the pond. When you throw the stone in the pond, at that time whatever waves you can see in the water, those are very similar to the sound waves. Okay, those are very similar to the sound waves. So I hope you have understood about how does the sound waves travel. Okay, the frequency of the sound waves. So one oscillation is related to vibration only. Oscillation and vibration words are very similar to each other. Okay, the one oscillation or one vibration of the sound consists compression and rarefaction. Okay, so one wave consists of a compression and rarefaction, and when there is compression and rarefaction in the sound, that time the air molecules start moving continuously. Okay, they start moving continuously. This motion of the air molecules is due to the sound. And in the third part you can see that the propagation of the sound has been seen in this sound waves. In the next slide, we will see that the compression and the rarefaction together forms the cycle wave. Now, we have seen that one wave of the sound consists of compression and rarefaction. So, together, one rarefaction and one compression together form a cycle of waves. So, there are number of cycles formed in the air in 1 second. Okay, so the number of cycles that are produced in the air per second is called as the frequency of the sound wave. Okay, what is frequency? The number of cycles that are produced in the air per second is called as the frequency of the sound. And how do we determine the frequency? How do we measure the frequency? We measure the frequency in hazards. Okay, so we measure the frequency in hazards. Okay, so students, we have studied that to complete one cycle, what is required? There is required rarefaction and compression is very much important to complete one cycle. Also, we have studied that the what is frequency? What is frequency? Frequency is the vibration that depends on the vibration of the molecules which are moving to and fro, that determines the frequency of an frequency of the sound. And how does the sound frequency of the sound is measured? It is measured in hazards. Okay, so here you can see that if there is if the vibration will set 512 cycles of compression and rarefaction in the air per second. That time how much frequency would be generated? Same frequency will be generated, that is 512 hertz. Even the frequency of the tuning fork is decided on the prongs or dimension of the prongs length, and the you can decide the frequency of the fork. So generally, basically, you should understand what is frequency. Frequency is nothing but the molecules which are moving to and fro, that determines the frequency. So this thing you have to understand. Even the time by the vibrating body to complete one vibration is known as time period. Okay, so time period is also important for frequency. Okay, so for frequency, what is important? Time is also important. So whatever time is taken to complete the one vibration is called as a time period. Okay, then frequency of sound. So students, I asked you the question in the starting only, would you like to hear the sound and music? Basically, sound, noise and music are different. Sound means what? Any sound which is produced in the form of energy, that is called as a sound. Even in the class, if two child whispers in the ear also, the sound is produced and you can hear what they are talking. So that is nothing but a sound. And music is the thing in which you can hear the sound, music very nicely, because in music there are different notes, high notes, low notes. So that determines the frequency, makes the frequency of the sound more or less, and creates a very nice music, and you love to hear the music. For that does not comes under the noise pollution. So basically, students, you should understand what is noise pollution, what is music, what is sound. Sound means when anything vibrates and produces sound, that is called as a sound. Noise means what? Noise you can define as the excessive amount of sound is known as noise. So when there is excessive sound, amount of sound, that time we can say that is called as a noise. For example, traffic, unwanted sound that is there, that causes, for example, train also, when train comes also, that time also sound production, noise pollution is there. Okay, and music is something which we like. Why do we like music? Because there is a right amplitude or right amount of sound produced in order to produce to a good music. Okay, this is the difference between the sound and the music. Also, we have the frequency of vibration in the strings keeps on changing, and we love the music to hear. In the flute, what happens in flute? In the flute, both the ends are opening and closing. So there are some holes in that flute. So which changes the length of vibrating the air column in the flute. That is how the sound produced by the flute is different than the other instruments. Okay, that is how the sound is different from the other instruments. So when basically when the person is blowing the flute, there are some holes. So he put his fingers on that holes and remove the finger. So he is trying to create a music with the help of flute, and which changes the length in the vibration of the sound also. This is how the sound is produced in the musical instruments. There are different notes that are generated by changing the waves of the air blowing also. So the person may blow more air for forming different music, or may decrease the length of air for making the music more interesting. Okay, this is then the next slide we are going to study about the low sound and the high sound. Here the low sound and the high sound depends upon the frequency. Students, I hope you remember in standard 7th we have studied infrasonic sound, ultrasonic sound, audible sound, inaudible sound. So just we will have a revision of it. Audible sound means what? The sound that is no, a normal human being can hear is called as a audible sound. And what is inaudible sound? The sound that cannot be heard by the normal human being is called as a inaudible sound. Then what is sonic sound? The sound which produces less than 20 hazards is known as infrasonic sound. And what is ultrasonic sound? The sound which is produced more than 20 hazard sound, that is called as a ultrasonic sound. So this is about the different frequencies of the sound. Students also have learned that the frequency of the vibrations depend upon the air molecules. So whatever the vibrations are produced, producing sound, those vibration of the sound energy is getting converted into the getting hit to the air molecules of the air molecules, and these air molecules when move to and fro, that time you can determine the frequency. Also we have seen the high frequency. What happens in low frequency? You can see the waves are very high, and in high frequency what do you see? You see very small curves which are very closer to each other. And in ultrasonic sound what happens? You can see the very high waves there. Okay, how the molecules, uh, how the particle moves, uh, that displacement of the molecules depends upon the frequency. Okay, the displacement is noted in the frequency. Then next is sound requires a medium. Sound needs a medium to travel. Yes, sound needs a medium to travel. Sound travels in solid, liquid, and gaseous also. So in solid, what happens, students? The molecules present in the solids are very closer to each other. So the sound produced from the solid substances is very high, because they are very closer to each other, and the energy transfer is very fast in solids. And in liquids what happened? In liquids the molecules are little bit different, little bit they are not very close to each other, we can say one hand distance, we can say. Okay, the molecules are at one hand distance, and they are not very close as to solid molecules. So now as the molecules are at one hand distance, we can say, so as they are so much a little bit far, we can say the sound production in the liquid is uh, taking little bit more time than the solid. In solid, how does it happen? Here the sound comes, here the sound comes and hits the solids, and immediately the sound is reflected. But in liquid what happens? It takes little bit time. Why it take little bit time? Because the molecules in the liquid are one hand distance, we can say. They are little not very closer, but they are little bit far, we can say. And in the third type, that is gaseous, what happens? The in gaseous molecules, the molecules are very far to each away. We can say that the molecules can move, rotate. Uh, such a gap is there in the gaseous molecules. So in gaseous, it take highest amount of time for the sound to propagate. Okay, so students, I hope you have understand how does the sound travels in solid, liquid, and gaseous. In solid, the sound travels very faster. In liquid, it travels little bit slower than the solid, and gaseous take more time than the uh, solid. Okay, now here there is an activity. In this activity, what is done? A airtight bell is taken, and it is covered with a bell jar. Okay, what will happen if it is covered with the bell jar? Okay, if the air is pumped out through the vacuum pump, what will happen? We will not able to hear the sound of the bell. Okay, due to the vacuum pump, the sound will not be able to hear. We can hear the sound of the bell when there is no vacuum pump. But when there is a vacuum pump on the electrical bell, even though the bell is ringing, we will not be able to hear the sound of the bell. This shows that the sound needs the medium to travel, and sound cannot travel in vacuum. So students, in this slide, what we have studied? We have studied that the sound travels in solid, liquid and gaseous, and sound does not travel in vacuum. Okay. So with this activity, we have understood when sound does not travels in a vacuum. Then amplitude. Then next type is amplitude. So what is amplitude, students? Amplitude is nothing but the sound waves travels through contraction and rarefaction towards our ear is called as amplitude. As we have seen in the previous graph, the contraction and the rarefaction waves, you can see. So the distance from the contraction and the rarefaction, the distance which is seen, that distance is called as the amplitude. Okay. The sound waves travel to the contraction and the rarefaction towards our ear. So how we can hear the sound? When there are sound waves produced in the form of contraction and rarefaction, that time we can hear the sound. Okay. How does the sound is formed? Sound waves are formed. Sound waves are formed with the help of contraction and rarefaction of the molecules. So students, basically you should know that the molecules from generally the molecules in the air are at one place. So when I talk, what happens? I give the sound energy to the molecules. So what does the molecule do? They immediately they take the sound energy from the air, and what they do, the molecules start moving and they start showing the displacement in the molecules. The displacement start moving. So this displacement that is given out by the molecules is called, depends upon the amplitude. So basically, what is the definition of amplitude? Amplitude means the displacement of the molecule from the mean position. Whenever there is a displacement in the molecule, what happens? A wave is formed. And what is that type of wave? That type of wave is called as contraction or rarefaction. Okay. So what is the definition of the amplitude? Amplitude means the displacement of the molecules from the mean position. What happened first? In the first case, I was talking. So what happened? The molecules which were present in the air, they were in the, they were they were not moving. But as it got the sound energy, they start moving. The displacement in the air molecules start happening. So this displacement of the molecules from the mean position is called as the amplitude of the sound. Okay, the volume control, loudness, strength of the wave. As you all know that the amplitude is measured in decibels. Okay, so energy of the waves, all these things are important for the amplitude. So basically, what is amplitude? Amplitude means displacement of the molecules from the mean position. Then next very interesting part, that is voice box. Student, I hope you have understood about the sound. How does the sound produces? How does the frequency of the, how is the frequency of the sound? How is the amplitude? How does the waves travel? Then sound needs a medium for propagation. How does the sound produces? All these things we have studied in the previous sound. Also, we have studied how does the voice box of the human words, how does the sound produces from the voice box. Okay, So students, there is a vocal cord present in the male, female and children, but the length of the vocal cord in human, in male, female and children are different. So in male, what is the length of the vocal cord? It is 20 centimeter. And in female, what is the length of the vocal cord? That is 15 centimeter. And in smaller children, it is even smaller than that. So because the because of this length is varying from male, female and children, there is difference in sound. So when a small child is talking, at that time the sound produced from his voice cord is different. The when a male person is talking, when he is talking, the sound produced from his vocal cord is different. It sounds a little bit different. And when a female is talking, that time the sound is little bit softer, you can say. And whatever the sound is produced from her voice, that is sweet also. This is the thing, difference of the vocal cord, that is 20 centimeter in male, 15 centimeter in female, and in children it is smaller than this. And so there is the difference of voice in male, female as well as in children's. So students, now we are going to study about the human ear. In humans, the sound is produced in the voice box. So where is the voice box? Voice box is nothing but larynx. So students, in this slide, you must have seen the larynx, the location of the larynx and the vocal cord. Here, here you can see the location of the larynx and the vocal cord, okay, which are very much important. In the next slide, we have studied that the sound is produced in the voice box. So I told you that you can touch your throat. So what will happen? You will feel that there is a vibration when you are talking. And just touch your throat. You can feel the vibration of your vocal cord. Right now, I am talking to you, so I can feel the vibration of the voice vocal cord. Okay. So how does the sound produce? Basically, I told you in the starting only, but again we will recall voice. Voice, yeah, we can feel the vibration when we are talking, and this is how the sound is produced in our vocal cord. So where is the vocal cord present, students? The vocal cord is present at the top of the windpipe. Okay. Now windpipe acts as an air column. Why it acts as a air column? Because from it the vocal cord will get the air, and whatever the sound which is produced in the vocal cord, that will hit the molecules of the air, and there will be the vibration of the sound, and this is how we talk, and this is how the sound is heard by the person who is in front of us. So generally what happens, the lungs pushes the wind in the air columns. What does the lungs do? They push the wind in the air columns. When the lungs push the wind in the air columns, what happens? The molecules which are coming from the vocal cord hits each other, and the vibration of the sound is produced, and that is how the sound is heard by us. Okay. So when the lungs force the air through the cell, the vocal cord vibrates and the sound is produced. Then the muscles attached to the vocal cord can make the cord tight or loose. So, students, whenever there is a musical concert, you can see that the uh, people who are going to play that music, they are loosening or tightening their instruments, and they are checking the instruments sound. So even in our vocal cord, some muscles are there which makes the cord tightening or loosening, so that the voice is coming properly. Okay. When the vocal cords are tight and thin, the type of the quality of the sound is different. When the vocal cord is tight, the sound comes different. I gave you the example of the instruments. When the instruments are very tight, at that time the sound produced by that instrument is different, and when you lose it, little bit, the sound produced by the instrument will be different. So in the same case, our vocal cord also works. Uh, Even the bicycle tube also, when two rubber strips out of unused bicycles, they are placed one above the another and they are stretched, they tighten, and the blow of the air through the gap between them is produced. So this produces a sound. So human larynx also work in the similar way. Now students, this is our ear. Okay, so I hope you must know that the largest bone of our body is thigh, and the smallest bone of our body is present in ear, that is stirrup or stapes. Okay, now basically how do we hear? Okay, now you have seen that our vocal cord is when we are talking, that time we can feel the vibration of the sound, and the sound molecules hit the air molecules, and that time the sound is produced due to the vibration. But basically how does a person hears that sound? Now when I'm talking, you are listening, so whatever I am talking, how that sound is heard by you, that we are going to study. So how do we hear the sound? Basically the answer from you will come, that we are hearing from ear. Teacher, what type of question you are asking? So the meaning of this question is that our ears are, basically the answer is right. We in our ear there are three main parts. Okay, in our ear there are three main parts. So outer ear, middle ear, and inner ear. So what does the outer ear consist of? The outer ear consists of ear canal, pinna, and eardrum. So here you can see pinna, just a second. Here you can see pinna, eardrum, and ear canal. So these are the parts of the outer ear. So what are the middle parts of the ear? So middle parts of the ear are malleus, incus, and staple. Stapes, that is stirrup. So these are the parts of the middle ear. And what are the inner parts of the ear? That is cochlea, costacea, and auditory system. So basically outer ear consists of three parts, middle ear consists of three parts, and inner ear consists of three parts. Now we are now familiar to the parts of the ear. Now we will see how does the eardrums work, how does the sound is heard by the ear. So whenever there is vibration of sound is there, that vibration of the sound is first received by our pinna. So here you can see the pinna. So that pinna receives the first vibration of the sound, and from this pinna the sound it goes to the external auditory canal, and that hits the eardrum, and the vibration in the eardrums start. So again I am repeating this point. What happens, whatever the sound that is coming in the vibrating form, that vibration is first received by pinna, and from with the help of auditory canal it goes and hits to the eardrum. Okay, from pinna it goes and hits to the eardrum. Here you can see the eardrum, students. So it hears the eardrums, and what happens, the eardrum start vibrating. So from the eardrum it starts amplified, and the sound starts amplifying, and that sound is then sent to the middle ear. Here you can see the middle ear. Okay, what does happen? Then from the middle ear they are taken to the cochlea. Cochlea is the inner part of the inner ear. Okay, now what happens, the sound which is amplified in the middle ear is sent to cochlea. Now what is cochlea? Basically cochlea is a filled with fluid. What is cochlea filled with? It is filled with fluid, and this fluid when receives this cochlea is having a fluid, and this fluid is having a small hair like bristles. Okay, so what does hair like bristles do? Whatever sound energy is converted, that gets converted into electrical bristles, and that reaches to the inner ear. So what happens basically in cochlea? The fluid converts the sound energy into the electrical energy, and the sound is reached to the inner ear. And from cochlea, it goes to your sensory nerves. So once the sound reaches your sensory nerves, it is taken by the electrical impulses to your brain. So the sound is reached to your brain, and then your brain says, हाँ ऐसा अच्छा ऐसा होता है, ऐसा आवाज सुनाई देता है. In this way, the whole conclusion is that how do you hear the sound? Okay, so basically I would like to explain this part again. I hope you have understood. If not, again I am explaining you how does the sound we hear. Basically the sound is our ear is made up of three parts: outer, middle, and inner ear. So first the sound is vibrated, and first it is received by pinna. You can see the pinna here. Okay, and in pinna, through the auditory canal, this is the auditory canal. So through the auditory canal, it hits the eardrum. So here you can see the eardrum. When the eardrum it hits, it starts amplifying the sound. So amplifying of the sound starts in the middle part of the ear, and then that is taken to the cochlea. Cochlea is the part of the inner ear, okay, where the fluid is present, and this fluid is made up of hair bristles, which converts the sound energy into electrical bristles as a message, and they reach to the inner ear. And from cochlea, what happens? It reaches to your sensory nerves. There are some sensory nerves, and when the sensory nerves get the message from the cochlea, that message takes the electrical impulses to the brain. So that message is taken by our brain, and the brain suggests that the sound is identified. So this is how the sound is received from one person to the other person's ear.